Welcome. I'm going to guide you through a short mindfulness meditation. Now, I invite you to sit on a chair. Now, a lot of people think you have to sit cross-legged and all that kind of stuff. But to begin with, the most important thing is that you are comfortable, that you can maintain a straight spine so you're not slouching, because when we slouch, that digs the ribs into our lungs. We can't breathe properly. And so that you can just sit at relative ease for a certain period of time. So sitting on a chair, one that supports your back, so that your feet are flat on the floor. If they don't touch the floor, use a block or books or something so that your feet are in contact with the floor. So we're not just sat there cross-legged like, ugh. So you're sitting in an active position, and you're going to rest your right palm on top of your left and bring your thumb tips together, resting the hands on the thighs. This is a mudra. It also acts as like an anchor, so that each time you come into this mudra, it reminds your body that it's time to sit. Now, a lot of people think that meditation is about quietening your mind or stopping thinking. But actually, it's really hard to stop thinking. And the more you try and stop thinking, the harder it gets. And especially nowadays, we have so many distractions, so many, in our own mind and out in the outer world. So the idea is just to become mindful. So I always say to people, don't try to relax, don't try to stop thinking. We're simply going to observe. And so you're going to close your eyes, and at the end of the meditation, when it's time to come back, you'll hear this sound 3 times. So that you know it's time to return. So if you're entered into a deep state of relaxation, your subconscious mind will know that it's time to return. So make sure you're comfortable. So grab a quick drink if you need one. Make sure you've switched your phone off. Make sure you've closed the door. Told everyone you don't want to be disturbed. So feet flat on the floor, feet in line with knees, hips. Try and make sure you're sitting so that your hips are slightly higher or level with your knees. So you're not sitting in a kind of slouch position. Now you might be able to hear Burrito, my cockerel. And here's the thing. We often want conditions to be perfect, but that's not life, okay? So the true test of meditation is being able to relax no matter what is going on around you. And we will kind of talk about that another time, about when we label things, it sometimes becomes even more annoying, whereas when we just let them be, we can let it fade into the background. So spine supported, rest your right palm on top of your left, bring your thumb tips together, rest your hands in your lap. Try and keep your chin so it stays parallel to the floor so it doesn't start to drop down. So your head is on top of your spine. And you're just going to start to lift your eye gaze very slightly as if you're looking up. And then you're going to slowly close your eyes. And again, at the end of the session, you'll hear this sound. And you will know that it is time to return to wakefulness. You're just beginning by being completely aware of your body resting on the chair. With your eyes closed, your awareness is turned inwards, away from the many distractions that we have in our daily life. And you're not going to try to relax. You're not going to try to stop thinking. You're not going to try to do anything. You're just going to pay attention. You're just going to notice what you notice. So you're noticing the sounds around you. You're noticing the sensations within your body. You're noticing the thoughts that come and go. We're going to try and do that without labeling anything. So without labeling anything as good or bad, positive or negative, right or wrong, it just is. Because when you pay attention, you notice how much our mind loves to judge. It loves to label. It labels things as good or bad, right or wrong, pleasant or unpleasant, positive, negative. We're constantly labeling things. So we're going to really try to pay attention and notice if you label something and then let it go. So don't beat yourself up about it. Don't criticize yourself about it. Just simply notice and then let it go. So simply being aware of your body resting on the chair. Doing your best to stay still, even if you notice you have the urge to fidget. And when you first start meditation, you'll notice there are many distractions. You'll want to fidget, you'll feel uncomfortable, you'll want to scratch, you'll want to yawn, you'll want to do all sorts of things. You'll notice something in your teeth, you might feel uncomfortable, you might notice a sound that you immediately label as annoying. Your mind will come up with 101 reasons for you to fidget. And you're just going to observe, smile, and let it go. So you may have, as I said that, you may have noticed that you want to scratch somewhere, or you have the urge to move, to fidget around, because we're just not used to stillness. We're not used to being still physically. We're not used to being still in our mind. And one of the reasons we struggle so much with meditation is often the thoughts that go through our mind, often very negative, aren't they? They're very kind of like doom and gloom, very self-critical, very toxic. And so we try and do anything to avoid listening to those thoughts. But that's only a short-term solution. What we ideally want to do is be able to quieten the mind. As I said a moment ago, the more we try to stop thinking, it's like the louder it gets. So to begin with, we're just going to observe. You're just simply going to listen, as if you're listening to a negative friend droning on, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to listen to if your body is being grumpy and grouchy and thinking, oh, I need to move, oh, I'm getting bored, oh, how long are we going to sit here for? And all that blah, blah, blah. And just observing and letting it go. And noticing your feet in contact with the floor. Hopefully you've got bare feet, but even if you've got socks on, being aware of your toes. To be aware of your big toes, second toes, third toes, fourth toes, little toes. And as you do that, you may notice that your toes almost start to tingle as you put your attention there, as if it's the first time you've ever really noticed that you even have toes, that your feet aren't just one lump of meat at the end of your legs. And then see if you can direct your attention, your full attention, down into your right big toe. So you don't have to move, you don't have to change anything. Just simply see if you can put all your attention just focusing on your right big toe, as if you've really, really got to pay attention to that right big toe. And with no judgment, no criticism. So if your mind wanders off, just bring it back to that big toe. And as you do that, you might notice that that big toe starts to feel like it's throbbing or tingling, or it might just feel different in some way to the rest of your foot, the rest of your body. So just breathing normally, see if you can keep your attention on that right big toe. Even if your mind is going, oh, this is silly, what am I doing this for? Why have I got to focus on my big toe? Just smile at that negative voice. Again, just imagine it as one of those friends that you have that's always moaning, always wah, 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 and just smile. Let that mind moan away. Just focus on your right big toe. And notice all and any sensations in your right big toe. Now, as I say that, your first thought might be, well, I can't feel anything, it's just a toe, it's just there. Again, just smile at that observation. And maybe ask yourself, does it feel different in any way to your left big toe? Does it feel warmer? Does it feel softer? Does it feel harder? Does it feel hotter, colder? Does it feel bigger or smaller? If it had a colour, what colour would it be? If it had a personality, what would it be like? Would it be angry? Would it be giggly? Would it be silly? Would it be grumpy? Would it be just, oh, blah, blah, blah? And again, your mind might be thinking, oh my God, this is really silly. How can my big toe have a personality? Just go with it, flow with it, roll with it. I think that might be an Oasis song, but go with it. And bring a smile to your face. Just have a little bit of fun. So notice how that big toe might be compared to your other big toe. So does your left big toe, if that had a personality, would it be the same? Or is one toe the good toe, the yeah, let's go toe, and the other toe's the oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Again, just have a bit of fun. You might think it's stupid, you might think it's silly, but notice how when we focus on different things, even having a bit of fun, your physical state changes. We're so serious a lot of the time. So just have a bit of fun with it. If you ever imagine having those Mr. Potato Head toys as children, imagine your toes are like the Mr. Potato Head. Again, notice, your mind might be going, oh, for Christ's sake, she's crazy. What is she talking about? Potato head, toes, blah, blah, blah. Again, just go with it. Just have a bit of fun with it. And imagine your toes having faces. Imagine them talking to each other. And as you do that, again, noticing all and any sensations in your toes. And again, your first thought might be, well, I can't feel anything, they're just toes. And if that's the case, ask yourself, what does that nothing feel like? Because even if your first answer is there's nothing there, you'll feel the contact between those toes and the floor. You'll feel the space around. You may feel a breeze brushing over your skin. You may feel the blood pulsing through. You may feel different degrees in temperature. When you really start to pay attention and get out of the, oh my God, this is silly, you'll start to notice little sensations. And you'll notice those sensations shift and change. So nothing ever stays the same. Even if we experience what we label as pain, it never stays the same. It moves, it shifts, it changes. So whatever sensations or lack of sensations, so does your toe feel empty? Or can you get the sensation of the bone, of blood vessels, of skin? Does it feel full? Does it feel small? Does it feel soft? Does it feel hard? Does it feel like plumped up? Or does it feel dry and shriveled? Does it feel like there's energy flowing through your toes? Or does it feel a kind of emptiness? Again, you're talking to your body on an energetic level. It doesn't have to make sense. And just notice how you feel, simply paying attention to, and just having a little bit of fun, being a little bit silly, a little bit just because. And notice how that makes you feel throughout the rest of your body. As you focus on your big toes, imagine your attention, your awareness, like a scanning machine, starting to spread throughout your foot. So from your big toe, imagine your awareness spreading through the other toes. Noticing all and any sensations in the other toes. Maybe as you do that, you might notice or you might imagine the rest of your toes having little faces and little personalities, and being the family of the first big toe. And then let your attention move through all the bones in your feet, about 22 bones in your feet and toes. And let your attention flow through the soles of your feet, through the arches of your feet, through your ankles, your heels, up to your ankles, and being aware of both feet, and aware of all and any sensations in your feet. Let's have the sensation like when you step into bath water. Imagine stepping into ankle deep bath water, that sensation of the warm water around your feet and ankles. Imagine having that same kind of sensation and allowing your attention, your awareness to begin to flow up through your ankles, up into your lower legs. So get a sense of your shin bones, your calves. Yeah, noticing all and any sensations as you do that. And just observing them. Again, noticing if your mind starts to judge or label. And just let it be. Let it be. And moving up into your knees, your thighs, and being aware of the contact between the backs of your thighs and your chair. Noticing your thighs relaxing down into the chair. And noticing your sit bones. See if you can sense the weight in your sit bones. When we're standing, you're grounding through the feet. So imagine feeling the weight in your sit bones, your right sit bone, left sit bone. Seeing if you can find a sense of equal weight. You're balanced equally in both sit bones. Check that your chin hasn't started dropping towards your chest. Your head is sitting nicely on top of the spine. You're just breathing with ease as you're aware of your sit bones. Be aware of your pelvis, the bowl of your pelvis. And aware of your inner organs that rest in that bowl of your pelvis. And just allowing the breath to float in and to float back out. As you're doing that, being aware of your spine. Get a sense of your spine. And imagining that scanner. Just imagine building your spine up through your lower back, your mid back. Imagine you may have started to sit a little bit taller as you're visualizing your spine up through your chest, up through your neck, and your head sits nicely on top of the spine. Imagine extending the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So even though you're resting with the spine against the chair, you're sitting nice and tall, but without tensing anything, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Still observing the breath, observing sensations, without trying to force anything to happen, just simply noticing, simply being aware. And in the background, the breath flowing in and out. Going to breathe in with ease. And breathe out with ease. Letting your awareness flow across your collarbones, across your shoulders. And down into your arms. And from your shoulders, just let your attention flow down to your elbows. From your elbows down to your wrists. From your wrists down through the palms of your hands to the tips of your fingers. And being aware of your whole body resting on the chair. And some to be aware of the room around you. And simply noticing how you feel now compared to when we started. Remember, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad, it's just curiosity. One of the reasons we check in the beginning is so that you can compare at the end. And as you become aware of the room around you, start to bring yourself back to a state of full wakefulness. You may take a few deep breaths. You may decide to stretch out the arms, move in whatever way feels good for you. Maybe a little twist. Yeah, whatever feels good for you. Maybe shake out the arms. Again, whatever comes naturally. Just keep in mind that just like anything else, it can take time and practice. People seem to think that you should just naturally close your eyes and you immediately become serene, and that doesn't happen that way. It takes practice. And to begin with, just simply being aware, and that is a practice. I'm still practicing, just being aware without labeling, just observing. And that can take practice. So you can try this little meditation every day. Ideally for about 21 days is the ideal time to really kind of embody a practice. And it is literally practice makes progress. If you have any questions, let me know and enjoy the rest of your day.